Hey everybody, it's Ben from Blue Marlin Marketing again, and today I'm going to be bringing you guys another. Oh, there's some glare. Sorry about that. Another Chrome extension. We're going to be using Make ChatGPT. It's a Google extension, so Chrome extension. Airtable, Stripe, and then this is going to be actually built for YouTube. So what this is going to be is actually allow you to get a download for any YouTube video as like an MP4 file. So it uses the same basic structure as like other extensions that I've built on this channel. So I won't walk through each individual like block in the make automations today. But if you want me to do that, please feel free to leave those in the comments along with any other questions or anything. I'll also, in our community, we will have the downloads to all of these make automations as well, and all the extension files, so that you could be able to like create this on your own, along with all the prompts and stuff I've used in ChatGPT to build this. So if you want that information, it will be provided in our community. But once again, feel free to ask any questions, comments, anything like that. But yeah, let's go into it. So you'll kind of remember the structure if you've seen our other videos, but the structure for the actual like brain of the automations kind of looks like this, and then there's actually three pieces like that. So I'm not actually going to go into each bubble like I said, but I'll kind of walk you through it. So the first thing that we actually have to do before we even like build any of this or start any of these other things is just create this first block called custom webhook. You just want to create it and then get that link. Once you have that link, you can actually use it in ChatGPT. So if I go all the way back to the top, like where I started my first thing, I was like, could you please generate me a Google extension? Please be sure to return all the files separately. I want this extension to have a get download button that appears on the user's YouTube. When on YouTube, the user should be able to click the get download button, and when the button is clicked, I want it to open up a window. There will be a download for the video. The extension needs to send the video URL to the webhook, along with the webhook also needs to be able to receive the link and display in that window and make sure that there's a download button once it downloads. Yeah, so that's kind of like the basic like starting block of what I did here. But as you'll be able to see as I like scroll through here and also just like show you how mine actually comes out, you can do a lot of like error testing and stuff. So it's going to give you like when you first do it a bunch of different files. You may not have the same exact names like content script.js, it might say content.js, anything like that. But it's pretty simple. All you want to do is copy each of these, paste it in your notepad, and just make sure that you save them all into the same folder. You can name that folder whatever you want. But yeah, so most of like what's going through in that middle section of like the code that I was just above and then scrolled past, that's just like me testing like, hey, why doesn't it look right, or how come the button's not working, or blah blah blah. Let me know if you guys want to see like a live or something about me just going over like error handling, either error handling in Make or error handling in like your Chrome extensions or even in like regular Python code, that kind of stuff. Obviously this is not Python in there, but I'll actually show you the Python that's used to actually get the video downloaded. So it's kind of the same sort of deal. You just keep prompting and prompting until you fix all your errors and figure out exactly what you're looking for. But let me take you to the beginning just to show you how I get like started. I was like, could you please generate some Python code that will be used in no code kit in Make, which is just this module. No code or zero code kit allows you to like run different types of code along with several other functions that it has like available to it. But you just go run Python code. Yeah, and then it's pretty simple. You just get to be able to paste your code in here and then just fill in your variables. So the way that you get the variables is pretty easy. You just like I need the code to take in the URL, and then I also found down the line, as you could kind of see in there, it said cookies. So I also needed the video or the webhook would be able to or this code would take in the video URL and the cookies in order to be able to do this, like to actually take in the video and then return a link to download. But I'll also have this Python code in our community too if you need that. But yeah, so then that's kind of like how this actually works. Like this is the actual brain of getting the download, and then the actual extension files look like. Let me open them up over here. The actual extension looks like this basically, which those are the files that were created in ChatGPT before, and then the Python ones are the ones we created in ChatGPT second. So the next thing you'll notice on here is we have this Airtable. So all we do for our Airtable is we just create like a pretty basic table. We just filled in some like random stuff here. Like this is obviously you can pick, but I'll show you how we actually set this up. So here I just like filled in myself, named him email, name. This one you call unique ID, and if we actually edit the field, there's this formula which you'll want to paste in there, and that just means if there's data here, it will go ahead and fill in this unique ID, which is pretty cool. And then on this one, if we just go edit, we just set up these things. You can add more, get rid of them. Yeah, just to decide like, hey, are they currently paying or whatever. And then create time and last modified, pretty simple edit. And you just like pick create time there and edit last modified there. But yeah, pretty simple. So basically what this allows us to do is by having this unique ID, we're calling it our API key. It makes it so that you can actually have this as like a subscription-based thing. So it's not just like, hey, they buy this once, they have unlimited access, or hey, they're subscribed. How do we actually go about removing access if they're not paying or their card declines, something along those lines. And that's actually the cool part about here is once their unique ID, like if this is no longer, let's just say it's like declined, right? Then this ID, when we run back through here, will actually, what this Airtable code is doing is just checking if there's a unique ID, because like the output from this is like that, whatever the key is coming in from the user. And then here what we do is we just say, does the unique ID exist? If it does, it runs the code. If it doesn't, it sends them this message, which actually takes us to our next step, which I'll show you guys. That's our Stripe link right there. We'll go Stripe. And you can actually see we went and created a payment link to it. And obviously you could just go ahead and fill this out and it will be reoccurring. You could, obviously a user can go in, decline this, turn it off, blah, blah, blah. But that's just like a way that instead of wasting, instead of allowing it to run through, if they're no longer paying, it's just going to keep generating them this response. You must have whatever purchased on. But yeah, and the opposite happens if they're currently paying. It will just send them in the response that. So I'm actually just going to go ahead and show you guys how this kind of works real quick. So let's just go ahead and hit run once. Maybe. Run. We're just going to wait for new data. If you also, one thing to note is if you don't hit wait for new data, like you've tested it before but you haven't had this on, it won't actually be able to send a webhook response. These things like require it to be like live in order to respond. That's just a thing to note. But okay, so now that it's on, if we actually go to a YouTube video, here's kind of like how the extension looks right now. And obviously like the UI and all this stuff you can change. So at least how I have it set up is it populates with the YouTube video that you're currently on. You'll go ahead and hit send. And then while the code's running in the background, obviously, it's doing its thing because I've already entered in my API key, but when we'll go back over here in a second once this is sent, just so I can show you guys how it comes out. But as you can see, it kind of runs through this whole thing, checks all this stuff. It checked if it had that, and it did since I've already placed in my API key. And the cool thing is once the users put it in, it will like save that forever. But if you like in your Airtable go ahead and change it so that that's no longer a valid key. Okay, so let's go ahead and see what we got in here now. So boom, it goes ahead and gives us this file, right? We just go ahead and copy that. And the cool little thing, so just go ahead and paste it here. And it actually just opens up right here, and we can just go ahead and download file. I'm not going to download this specific one since I'm pretty sure I already downloaded it. But let me just show you guys real quick how it comes out. You just download it. Takes like a minute or two, just depending on how big the file is. Let me close that real quick. If you go to my downloads, sorry, I'm on my other screen. We'll move this back over here, and there you can see it's like a video file, or there's another video file for like, I've downloaded them and they put them in there basically. Well, this one's one I did, but this is like the one, and pretty simple. It's literally downloaded on your computer. You can kind of interact with it however you want. But yeah, that's really, really cool stuff. But yeah, and that's kind of like a thing that will just be available on their screen. The one thing to note is, in order to like actually like get it activated, like showing up, is you'll want to go to extensions and just make sure you're in your developer mode. All you do is flip this little button, and you'll just want to go load unpacked and just pick, since in my desktop it's there, and just pick whatever the name of the extension or whatever you want. I think it's this. You just hit select folder and hit open. As long as all the files are there and it can find everything, it will just pop up a new one of these, and you can just go ahead and hit refresh every time you make changes. But yeah, so that's kind of like the cool part. And then obviously you can mess with the UI here and stuff, and I've also included like this feature so they can enter like a new API key, that kind of thing. Or if they don't have one, they would go ahead and hit buy now, and it takes them to this Stripe thing. If it will close. But, and then we could also go back to like here, right? If we go, let's just close this. We'll go back in here, and we'll just pretend we're on our YouTube video. I've also included like this clear button. So now it will actually be using whatever URL. I would have to like go ahead and hit send again, basically, or have this on also. But they're all kind of just like things like that. And then obviously you could mess around with it and like change how this looks. This is like very bare bones look to it right now. I'm obviously going to change this up, add some more color and stuff. But the one other thing to note is you can actually have it so it like uses your own icon or like that kind of thing. Like, okay, close. But the way that you do that is actually just tell ChatGPT, hey, I want to be able to like include my own images. Please like set up the folders or set up the files so that I can insert them. And then what it will do is actually return, if I can find which one it is, return the names of the files that it wants you to add. So let's see if I can't find that, where I asked for the icons. Sorry. As you can see, I've run a lot of different error handling and tests like that. Let me know also if you guys want like all the different boxes of code or like messages and prompts that I've put into this, even though they're kind of like not standardized like across different extensions, because obviously you might run into errors and stuff. So here's where I actually talk about like I have two images that want to be icons. So all they do is here they want you to add icon PNG and icon 2 PNG to your folder with the rest of your files, and then when you do it, it will actually be basically include them wherever they need to be put on. You can also specify like what you want to be like for this thing, or if you want like logos on like the actual in the window, that kind of stuff. But yeah, you can reference them as much as you want to. Like if you say, hey, like I want the icons to appear wherever, or like the button to be one of the icons, it can do that since now that it knows about them. But yeah, and also the thing I have set up here is once that record is like updated, so on our Airtable we're just looking for our newest modified whatever, and then this view is obviously, maybe I want to put it back in the grid view. We'll see. Okay, but you don't actually need to put anything in this one that says view. I don't know why it's saying failed to load data. I may just have to delete this module and do it again. But you don't actually have to put anything in there. But what it's doing is actually just looking at the last modified, and if that modified data, well, since the only thing that should be changing basically in here is like when like a new one comes up or something changes basically. So either like this field changes or a new one's created, it will actually go ahead and send them an email, if I can get back to it, go ahead and actually send them an email based on the name. Well, it's not showing up now, but since there's an email column in here, like that's the email it uses. And then if we go back again, the unique ID is from that spreadsheet as well. And then I'm just gonna have to go ahead and fix that bubble. But yeah, and it's kind of like this. And obviously you can change your submit or like how you want the wording in this kind of thing to be. But yeah, this is the email that we'll send. And then that's the like address to it too. I'll just have to fix that bubble before I upload this to share to all you guys. But yeah, so it's kind of like a cool thing. And also this is just like something that you can pretty much get up and running in like not too long. Like once you've kind of messed around with it, and obviously like the look of it's not going to be phenomenal to start with. It's kind of like a process just to go test what you like, test what you don't like, see how everything turns out. And also just coming up with like new things, new ways to implement it. Like, do you want people to like, do you want this as a subscription? Do you want a one-time fee? Are you just building this for yourself? Because if you are, then obviously there's some steps that you can not take or take if you're doing it one way or another. But yeah, so that's kind of like the basic overview I've got for you today. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Again, please feel free to leave those below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. That really, really helps us out. Yeah, and everybody have a great rest of your day. Thanks so much for staying to the end. Have a good one.